Yeah, it was yet another chaotic village board meeting here in Dalton last night. But during that meeting, a lot of people noticed a couple unfamiliar faces sitting directly next to Mayor Tiffany Henyard. Well, we've done some digging and we've found out who those unfamiliar faces are. They're both criminal defense attorneys that have been hired by the mayor.
So the mayor has to be on pins and needles right now with the feds breathing down her neck and her administration crumbling right before her eyes. So, what does she do? Well, the fairy godmother of corruption hires some serious legal firepower, two of the most controversial and suspect federal criminal defense attorneys in the state of Illinois. Beau Brindley and Ed McDavid. But what's the real reason behind these high stakes moves that the mayor's making? Like, especially for a woman who claims her innocence, right? What does she need criminal attorneys for, especially federal criminal attorneys? Well, let's take a deep dive and we will explore the calculated reasons why we believe this strategic maneuver has taken place. So here's what I think. From keeping potential snitches silent to controlling the public narrative, Henyard's decision isn't just about defense. I think it's about playing offense in a high stakes game where the winner takes all. Rather, she's preparing for a legal battle of her life that could determine her future, or setting up a smokescreen to distract from the real issues. One thing is clear: this is a power move that demands attention. Is this a sign of desperation, a calculated strategy, or something even more sinister? Now, from a RICO standpoint, if the super mayor were thinking like a criminal mastermind, the one that she thinks that she is, the number one reason to hire federal defense attorneys would be number one, the obvious, to cover her tracks. In order to keep the feds off her back, she will need attorneys to make sure that they start to clean up her messes. And she's made a lot of those. And to make sure that no one can prove she's dirty, even if she is. Number two, shutting people up or shutting them down. Now, hiring these heavy hitting attorneys sends a clear message to anyone thinking about flipping. Now, hear me out. Keep your mouth shut or you'll regret it, kind of thing, right? These lawyers know how to apply pressure and to keep everyone in line. Not to mention, think about it, guys. She's like the fairy godmother of corruption. She knows all of her people's deep, dark secrets, where the bodies are buried, and under the radar type of scandals. I'm not just talking about like the dirt, as in the collective dirt, but private matters like extramarital affairs, substance abuse, or if there are any domestic abuse charges. So here's what I mean. If you guys think that she doesn't really know what happened in Vegas, think again, okay? Obviously, it's all alleged, right? These are allegations, but they're my personal thoughts. I believe she knows exactly what happened in Vegas. And think about it for a moment. What's the worst thing that you can go to prison for? Is it some issues where I think the max might be 5 years, some type of fraud, or something where you SA'd somebody and you might be in there for the rest of your life? If he's already old or older, right? So what? If he's 63, 65, I don't know how old he is, but he looks like he's at least in his 60s. Could you imagine getting 20 years, 25 years? He would die there. So my thoughts are she has him over a barrel. And when I say him, guys, I'm referring to Andrew Holmes and those allegations. Okay, so here we go. Number three. When the crap finally hits the fan, the mayor knows that she will ultimately have to make a deal with the feds. She knows that. Now, don't think that she's that stupid as to not understand that she is next on the chopping block. But the kind of attorneys that she's hired are at their best when negotiating deals under the table. If things get too hot, she might need to sacrifice a pawn or two to save herself. And these lawyers are the ones who can make that happen. Now, I believe she will sacrifice Freeman first, then Andrew Holmes, because, like, no one really likes an R man, allegedly. So, y'all know YouTube be doing the most when it comes to terminology in sensitive matters. So, let's just say, for instance, that Andrew Holmes is really guilty. I don't know if he is. He looks like he is, as far as I'm concerned, but who am I? I'm not a jury, right? But let's just say, allegedly, that he's guilty. Don't you know that a jury would throw him in jail and throw away the key? He would have absolutely no credibility. So I think it'll be Keith Freeman. And I also think then she'll just roll Andrew Holmes under the bus. At the end of the day, though, I don't think she's going to roll too much on Lacey, because I think she and Lacey, they got some real drama, undercover darkness, shadiness, in my opinion, that maybe only they know about. Okay. Now, I will admit that I can be a conspiracy theorist at times, meaning this whole Lacey Henyard collaboration thing. I say that because we still want to know who shot up Miss Valeria Stubbs' house. Okay, we want to know. Inquiry minds want to know. And it just so happened that Dalton police have no idea what happened, right? I don't think so. I think they know exactly what happened. We can only say so much as far as these types of allegations, but I say that collaboration between the two of those, between Lacey and Henyard, I think they know each other's dirt more than anybody. That's just something that I think I sense about those two. So apparently there was some disagreement or some public dispute between Miss Valeria Stubbs and Henyard. According to Miss Stubbs, I did read this story in the New York Post. According to her, her house was then shot up, as well as some of the cars that belongs to some of her, I guess, tenants were also kind of shot up, right? And this particular mystery was never solved, right? So, you got 20,000 plus residents in the city of the village of Dalton, and the Dalton police have absolutely no idea who shot this woman's house up. I'm not buying it. Mrs. Valeria Stubbs, I'm on your side, sweetheart. I'm leaning more to agreeing with her on that. It would be absolutely probably the most egregious thing that you could do to a public citizen, to anyone, as far as that goes. But it was very shady. It was never solved, and it remains a mystery to this day. And my thoughts are that the Dalton police know exactly who did it, but that's also alleged, and it's my personal thoughts. Okay, let's move on to number 5, taking out the opposition. So here's the goal: discredit anyone coming after her. These attorneys will dig up dirt on anyone coming for her, prosecutors, witnesses, even other politicians, such as those in power in the state of Illinois, who sat around on their behinds this entire time and did absolutely nothing. Does that suggest that the mayor's holding more cards than we give her credit for? The idea is to make everyone look worse than her. Then she looks like a victim. Okay, we have 2 more, but number 6, exploiting the system, like finding the loopholes, exploit the weaknesses. Like, these attorneys are pros at finding the weak spots in the system. If there's a loophole, a technicality, or a way to get charges dropped, they'll find it and use it to her advantage. That's why she needs defense attorneys. And last but certainly not least, number 7, setting up for the future, because she knows it's only a matter of time. Now, even if she goes down, these attorneys are setting the stage for appeals getting her sentence reduced, or finding a way to flip the script later. So she's playing the long game, always thinking about her next move. Now, in short, and from a street level, RICO minded perspective, since those are the types of attorneys that she hired, Henyard is bringing in these lawyers to make sure that she's got every angle covered, from rolling everyone under the bus to taking the fifth. These attorneys want to keep the fairy godmother of corruption skeletons in the back of the closet and don't rule out their ability to spin the narrative that she's the only vulnerable female. I know it sounds improbable, but desperate times calls for desperate measures. All I'm saying is that y'all might be surprised with some legal grooming and some legal acting classes. She might just sway a jury. You never know. Now, I'm just playing devil's advocate, guys, okay? But seriously, y'all, keep in mind that jurors are made up of people from all walks of life, and facts alone are never the only element that sways a jury. All you need is a charismatic, corrupt attorney to direct the movie, and it could convince just one juror as a holdout. Now, don't get it twisted. I think she's definitely going to prison. 100%. I think that she's going to prison. But I think these attorneys know how to mitigate time, the amount of prison time that she will receive, using some of these theories that I just shared with you, the 7 reasons why she hired them in the first place. So those are the 7 reasons that I think that she preemptively hired these federal defense attorneys, especially in light of her saying she's innocent, pure as the driven snow. But I want to know what you think. So comment down below. Tell me why you think she's hired these attorneys in light of her claiming her innocence. And I'm sure you will think of reasons that I haven't even thought about, and share it with your friends. See if we can get some voting going on to see how many people believe that anything that I said is going to fly with a jury. And as usual, guys, thanks for tuning in to Southern Confidential. And for more on this developing story and other commentary, don't forget to subscribe and like the video, and I will see you next time.